Brett Favre's lawyer is out for blood when it concerns Pat McAfee. He had some really interesting things to say on Jason Whitlock's podcast about the West Virginia player and Indianapolis Colts punter. We're going to talk about that and a lot more, as it looks like the man who testified against Donald Trump will stop at nothing to teach Pat McAfee a lesson.
This is for Cameron.
What is up, guys, and welcome in. My name is Mountaineer Paul, and you have landed here at Mountaineer Paul Talks Football. And guys, I got to tell you, this is not the story I thought I'd be talking about at this time of year. I'm just a little bit late to the party on it. This did start about 5 days ago, but there's been some new updates, and I decided to jump into the fold. So let's dive in head first into exactly what has transpired over the last 5 days. Brett Favre, who remains entangled in the largest welfare fraud case in Mississippi's history, has filed 3 different documents. They're going to result in defamation lawsuits against Mississippi State Auditor Shad White, NFL Hall of Fame tight end, and current undisputed host Shanon Sharpe, and of course, the reason we're doing this video, Indianapolis Colts and West Virginia legend Pat McAfee. Of all the people on this list, surely Pat McAfee has been the most vocal about this, even going on his show and saying, "See you in court." There's been a lot happen over the last 5 days. McAfee's using his platform to joust with Brett Favre and people who maybe take Brett Favre's side, and especially his lawyer, who seems to be out for blood in this situation, has Pat McAfee in his crosshairs. Here's what they're saying Pat McAfee and Shanon Sharpe did. He's saying that Pat McAfee called him a thief, was, quote, stealing from poor people in Mississippi. The lawsuit goes on to also say he's made similar comments on Twitter, like ESPN and things like that. The lawsuits seem to note the numerous charities that have benefited from his Far for Hope program, which says it supports disadvantaged children and breast cancer patients. Even gone as far to help develop and treat patients with concussion symptoms and to develop medicine for concussions. But the tax records don't exactly reveal all that charitable goodness that is said in the defamation lawsuit. It actually looks like Brett Favre has been the major recipient. The fact is that Brett Favre did receive $1.1 million in welfare funds for motivational speeches he never went to. He has paid back the fees. Credit to Brett Favre for that. He is refusing to pay the interest they're asking for. And then there have been text messages, which I'll either put up now or later post-production of this video. But from 2017, that appeared to show Brett receiving funding from former Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant, what's obviously now become the biggest scheme in the history of the state. Brett Favre comes in because he was trying to raise money for the construction of a new volleyball stadium for the University of Southern Miss, which also happens to be where his daughter plays the sport. They turned to nonprofit founder Nancy New to try to help raise some of the money, and a wolf of Mississippi Today obtained text messages and entered Monday into the state's ongoing civil suit over the scandal that show that Favre, New, and a former welfare agency director, John Davis, worked together to funnel at least $5 million of the state's welfare funds towards the building of the new stadium. New has already pled guilty to 13 felonies, which are related to the fraud case, which say that nonprofit leaders spent $77 million in money that was earmarked to aid those in need. In text messages acquired between him and New, he asks if this can all fall back on him. Brett Favre says, this is August 3rd, 2017. If you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much? Nancy New: no, we have never had that information publicized. I understand you've been uneasy about it, though. Let's see what happens on Monday with a conversation with some folks at Southern. Hope maybe it will click with them. Hopefully. Okay, thanks. August 4th, 2017, the next day. Wow, just got off the phone with Phil Bryant. He's on board with us. We will get this done. That's obviously the governor. Awesome. I needed to hear this for sure. Guys, I know there are more details soon to come out in this case. In my opinion, things don't look really good for Brett Favre here. He's filing defamation lawsuits and pointing the finger at other people. Obviously, he's taken very little accountability for any of these actions. Paying back the money was really a drop of the hat to him. And if anything, in my opinion, they're kind of an indictment. It's almost like somebody who pays somebody a settlement to get a lawsuit to go away. If you didn't do anything wrong, why pay it back? I understand you didn't show up for the events, but it's not like you could have just showed up for future events rather than paying all this money back. Seems like that'd have been easier to me. And so to come after guys that have high, in my opinion, high credibility, like Shanon Sharpe, Pat McAfee, guys that are moral, upstanding guys for the most part, just don't get it. And it really just makes Brett Favre look worse. It looks like Brett Favre stole from the poor, paid himself, got caught, is mad about it, and is now pointing the finger at other people. That's what it looks like. Good for you, Brett Favre. Now you've tarnished your entire career, your entire legacy, because most likely all anybody will ever think of you now is this, not your playing career. You inspired a lot of kids to want to play quarterback, but now you can inspire some of these pro quarterbacks and the upcoming pro quarterbacks what not to do with your fame. I don't have to be politically correct on this. I have very little for you to take from me. I doubt Brett Favre will ever see this, and I doubt a defamation lawsuit would ever be filed against me for anything I'm saying. But I'm standing up for our guy, Pat McAfee, here. And well, he doesn't need me to do it. He's kind of doing it for himself. And I really like some of the tweets he's put out. He hears that Brett Favre's lawyer is going to bankrupt him, and he's got the rock saying, bring it on. Guys, if you like videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, really appreciate that. And also, let's talk about this situation, guys. Whose side are you on? Do you not have a side yet? Are you unbiased on the situation? Are you biased towards one person or another? If you are, drop a comment below and let me know about it. Would really like to hear from you. Would love to talk more about this subject, and let me know if you want to see more videos on it. As of yesterday, Brett Favre has filed another motion to have this case dismissed. We'll see where that goes. We're going to continue to update you on this situation, guys. But generally speaking, this is a West Virginia channel. Pat McAfee is obviously the lead in here, so we're going to make that our focus. Obviously, I can talk about Shanon and some of the other people involved, but really this is a Pat McAfee focused kind of deal. But certainly we'll cover the totality of it and even more details as we move forward with this, because this ain't over, and I imagine Pat McAfee is going to have a lot to say against other people's advice. I encourage you to go to the Pat McAfee show, look at some of the clips of things he said. Really hilarious stuff, man. I think really what endears him to the public are some of his responses to Favre on this matter, guys. Really hope you liked the video, though. Try to cover this thing more as it breaks out. This has been another edition of Mountaineer Paul Talks Football. This episode is over. I'm out.
This is for Cameron. 10 K.